Going live. We're going live, baby.
It is live.
I think we're live. All right. Okay, guys, we're going to be sending the link over to the Patreon page. Sarah Mac's doing it right now. And we have, as always, it's always cool stuff to talk about because we're talking about gun stuff and stuff, security and survival and all those fun things. So if you're watching right now, this is before we are sending the live link, but we just want to go ahead and say hello and give you guys an introduction. And we really appreciate all you do. And that's why we're here. We're here to have some fun. And this is always my favorite group. So great to have you guys with us tonight. And as we have people pop in, we will get started. If I can pull all the stuff that I have in my back pocket out of my pocket so I can sit. But had a great week, and we'll be talking quite a bit about some of the things that we saw down at Big Daddy Guns at a big event, and a lot of people, a lot of gun companies and stuff were down there. So hopefully we'll have some people popping in. We've already got some I see already, and we're getting some questions. Hey guys, listen, if you are watching this on Patreon, make sure you come over and click onto what is this? Okay, on to go ahead and click onto YouTube. Make sure you're clicking on YouTube. If you're saying anything, leaving comments on Patreon, we're not going to see it during the live event. So just make sure you come over and click on the link to YouTube. And yes, I see a lot of people are piping in already. Great to have you guys with us tonight. Big Monday night here. And we've been down in Savannah, Georgia all weekend. And it was a lot of fun. And I'll tell you we'll talk a little bit about that. We did a poll today that was really interesting, I thought. And I found out that there were 3 people that love darkness. So I guess those are the same guys that love that have their security blanket and passy instead of having any kind of go bag. But I love it. I love you guys. You are so funny. But anyway, we're going to really talk about some cool things tonight. We have some really interesting questions as well, and we're going to have some fun with that. And got some giveaways to do. And I'll tell you this, we've got some really cool giveaways coming up. I'm going to show you, Olight's having a flash sale. I know that's a big surprise, but it is their Black Friday sale. And so this is kind of crazy, honestly. But we're going to be giving a lot of those lights away. Just haven't looked at all of them yet, but most of these lights will be giving away. There may be something that just piques my interest. But great to have you guys with us tonight. We were down in Savannah, Georgia for the Big Daddy. It was the epic shoot. And there were so many people there. It was raining, but it wasn't too bad. The place was set up to where it was very enjoyable. Even though it was raining, it was covered and everything was kind of in line. So saw a lot of great people down there, a lot of great products that have come out. And, it's just always a lot of fun to do a lot of testing. In fact, I actually shot quite a bit this past weekend, which I usually don't when I go to those events because I shoot quite a bit. And so, and I did turn some people down. They kind of looked at me funny, but when you shoot as much as I do, and then I kind of reserve that shooting for my reviews, it is funny. But did get to shoot. In fact, I was down there and IWI was there, which was pretty interesting. And you guys know I have the TS12 12 gauge shotgun, and that review is coming up. And so I was just they were showing me exactly a little bit more of a proper way to handle it. And it was really, that's just really a great shotgun. But Robbie Wheaton went down with me. And then, of course, Sarah Mac and Shannon, my wife, and Grant. And then Skinny Medic and his wife were there, and some other good friends of ours, John and Cindy Cochran. We went by Black Rifle Coffee. I didn't know that they had a retail location down there, which is together with Nine Line Apparel. And so it's this really cool place. I mean, it was really cool. They have a big showroom and tons of people. It was out in the middle of nowhere. Tons of people there. And I posted a couple of pictures on Instagram. But they were selling coffee, and they had a huge coffee bar and they were, making all kind of cool drinks. And then the Nine Line Apparel, even though I've kind of worked with them a little bit, I really hadn't done much because I forget about it. But I ended up getting my Christmas present while I was down there. And a really nice jacket, and they had some really cool stuff down there. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they did. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it was fun. And in fact, I think we got didn't Grant? I believe we got him something too while we were down there. We got some pretty cool. Well, I don't know if we did or not. But anyway, we got a lot of cool stuff, and it's just, if you're ever in the Savannah, Georgia area, and I believe they have other retail locations. I think I saw that where there's a couple of others. But if you're down near Savannah, that'd be a great place to go. I know that Key Bar is down there. If you've ever seen, that's what my keys are on, is a Key Bar. I'm not gonna pull it out, but they're down there, and the city is just beautiful. In fact, Shannon and I, when we got married on our honeymoon, we came through Savannah, spent one night. But just an old city, kind of similar to Charleston as far as a lot of the architecture and a lot of the styles. But great area to go. If you've never been down to Charleston and Savannah, that whole area, it is just beautiful. So anyway, got back late last night, and here we are. So first thing I want to talk about tonight is, and guys, I want you to kind of pop in. We'll be taking questions, obviously, in just a couple of minutes. But one thing that I did today, I just put up something about, do you carry a flashlight? And then I listed a bunch of brands. I just was thinking about different ones. One that I did miss, that I really wish I hadn't missed, was Enforce. Enforce makes a great light. Of course, their weapons lights really are their key. That's their banner products. I mean, they make some great weapons lights. But it was really interesting, and I think a lot of it had to do with because I am such an Olight fan, and because Olight sells a lot of lights. But there were like 76 people said that they carry the Olight. And then it was like 17 said Surefire, and about 25 came in with Streamlight. And then it was just a mix here and there, which, listen, all the lights is funny. Phoenix 4.7s, Claris, I mean, all those lights are great lights. And there, I saw that some people said other. There was about 18 people that said other. And then we had 3 that said they don't carry a flashlight. And then we had 3 that said they love the darkness. And so, but I want to talk a little bit about flashlights as far as what they're for. Now, obviously, they're for light and, for EDC. And I understand when people say, I don't carry a light, because years ago, before I got into EDC, really, I didn't even like carrying a billfold. I like to just go as simple as possible, and no knife, no watch, nothing. And then I just started building it up to where I started depending on things. And the flashlight is one that, once I started really carrying a flashlight, this is something that I have to have. Of course, the older I get, the more I need it. And but seriously, just for small things, it's amazing how a light can make a big difference in everyday situations. I mean, just minor, whatever. Now, obviously, you go with your small little pocket lights or keychain lights. I mean, that's one of the things that I keep on a keychain, but I always keep a light in my pocket. In fact, right now I have the Olight, and oops, it's even on. I was doing some stuff with this. Yeah, this is the i3T EOS. It's in the bronze color, and it's so light and tiny, and it carries a AAA battery. So this is a great little pocket light. It doesn't really take up a lot of room, but a lot of times I'm carrying my S1 batons, and then sometimes I carry a little bit larger light. Now, one of the reasons why I'm going to talk about this is because, as I have said in a number of videos, or definitely in every video that I do a light review, is that light is your #1 security tool. And the reason why is because, number one, it just lights up areas. And so people tend to get away, because they're usually trying to hide their nefarious deeds or whatever. And so this kind of just, it brightens the area. It's why we have security lights. It's why we have motion detector lights. I mean, there is an element of that just having a light around, is good for security. But there are also so many documented cases where a flashlight is used as a defensive weapon. I mean, it's used to keep people off. It's used to fight, if you need to. I mean, you can use it as an impact tool. So what?
Enigma said criminals hide from lights like roaches do.
Especially blue lights. But, and speaking of blue, but, having a small light like this is not really a great tool for self-defense as far as using the body of the light. Having something a little larger, now while it's more difficult to carry, it's a little more uncomfortable, but you could even use something like this. But of course, then like this Caleres XT11, I mean, look at the bezel on that thing. It is just huge. And that's a little bit extravagant. But, these are definitely something that is a non-lethal option to carry for a flashlight. So for me, I kind of break it down to my typical EDC light that I just slip in my pocket. If I'm going somewhere, I may up the game a little bit, especially if I'm going somewhere, that I want to carry a little more. And then those areas that you're not supposed to carry a firearm, having a light is just excellent. So, but obviously the majority of the majority of you guys carry flashlights. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But, if you have any comments about flashlights or whatever. Now, Olight, this is crazy, but one thing that I do want to mention is that on their PL2 Valkyrie Pros, these are their weapons lights, and 1200 lumens, or these are 1500 lumens, the Pros are. These are rechargeable. You can recharge them right on your firearm. They're going to have a 45% off, and I believe it's the 28th and the 29th of November. Just those 2 days. That is the biggest discount they've ever done. So if you've been looking for one of the PL2s, this is definitely a time, if you're interested, to get one. They have it in the desert and in the black. And then there's some of the small lights, and I'm not going to really talk about those. Those are mainly gift lights. One thing they are doing is this little red S1 baton. It's a limited edition. It's just very few, they're just making these. These will probably sell pretty quick. Another one that I thought was really cool. And there's a lot of you guys, and not just you guys, but there's a lot of people that collect these things. I mean, like crazy. This is the orange Seeker 2 Pro. This is also a limited edition. It will go on sale on November the 28th. These are all Black Friday sales. And I'm just trying to see if there's anything else in particular that's really unique. The copper, I think we just did a review on this one, and this is the M2R Warrior Pro, I believe. Yeah. And then titanium, and this is pretty cool. This is baton titanium, really neat light. And then they have the full copper, which they've done some of these in the past. So anyway, I'll be getting information about it. I'm not sitting here trying to sell you guys anything. I just want to show you these are coming up. And one thing about a flashlight is it makes a great Christmas gift, especially for the ladies. I mean, this was red, and then of course they have done some of the blue. But it's just a light, and I feel like I don't want to feel like this is a commercial, because that's not what it's about. I mainly just want to kind of show you what is coming up in case you're interested, because a lot of guys get excited about these flash sales, and you can really get unbelievable deals. I don't know how they do it. Okay, let's talk. Let's take some questions, and let's go. What you got?
Smoking Joe just asked, which is better for a Glock 19, a PL2 or a PL2 Mini?
Now, I'll tell you what I usually have on my nightstand gun is a PL2. And the reason why is because I have 1500 lumens, or maybe even the Baldor, because it has the laser. But I can bring it down to the 300 lumens on the Baldor. I don't know that you can do that on the PL2. It may be. That's pretty sad, but I've done a lot of light reviews. Now, for a small package, I like the PL Mini. The PL Mini 2 is fully adjustable. It's a great size. It really gets low on your firearm. So to me, if you want something you're going to carry or something you want to put in your vehicle, or what, I would go with the PL Mini 2, or the PL Mini for that matter. I like the PL Mini 2 because it is fully adjustable and you get it really close to your trigger guard. But the Valkyrie to me is more of a professional light. I mean, it's something that a little larger. You're not really worried that much about size. But if you want something a little more compact, both of them are excellent, and we use both of them. But I think that the PL2 would go with a smaller compact size if you want that. If you really want the bright lumens, go with the PL2. But it is a larger light. We have some questions on back you're trying to locate.
I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss
I was just a
anything.
gabbing and a gabbing.
Yeah, I just kept talking.
Yeah, I think that, you know, and two, these lights, man, they have been so popular. And, you know, it's funny because I do get some grief about, oh no, another Olight review, and then people love them. I mean, you know, so it's just a few people. So if you think that, you know, I do too many Olight reviews, you know, main reason I do them is because they're just so freaking popular. I mean, people love them.
Robin said that this one looks like a Klingon flashlight.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's got a serious bezel on it. Now, this bezel is removable, and so you can put one of the more subdued bezels on there.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, but for the aggressive bezel, this is it's really like a crown almost. Yeah, it does look Klingon. And then, of course, this Warrior has more of a standard bezel here. But I'll tell you, I mean, if you want to get somebody off of you, this is a great way to do it.
Yeah, right in the face.
Yeah, well, you know, if somebody's attacking you, they get what they get. But even this Seeker 2, I mean, the crenulated bezel is reduced, and you probably will stay out of less trouble with this than you would definitely with this. But
all you have to do is throw it away before the cops get there. There's nothing wrong with this flashlight. Just take it.
Take the bezel off and throw it. But you know, it gives you just a little more. And there are smaller lights, you know, just like this one. And this one doesn't have a crenulated bezel. But the thing is, if you hit somebody upside the head with it, it's going to definitely dissuade them most of the time. Gives them a headache anyway. So, did you lose it?
No, there's just more questions earlier. David says, are they the #1 tool for self-defense?
Well, you know, and that's why I say the #1 security tool. #1 tool for self-defense, obviously, is a firearm. And, you know, I would much rather be standing back from someone than to have to go up and you go hands-on if I had to. But definitely there are times, there's a lot of times. You know, it's funny. We were in McDonald's last night coming back from Savannah. We stopped and we met them. We got kind of separated a little bit. And when we were coming out, we were standing there talking. I just happened to look on the door where it had the hours, and at the bottom it said firearm had a line through it. Well, that's not legal for South Carolina. It has to actually have a certain size, has to be prominent and all that stuff. And so it was just wishful thinking on their part. But, you know, I didn't even notice that. So, you know, that's one of those things, you know, you never know when you're going into a certain place, because if I see it, I won't go into it. I mean, obviously. So I think our microphone's turned here. You probably were hearing me and not Sis. But, yeah, I mean, that's just, you know, one of those things. I know, too, and, you know, like at church. I mean, unless you have permission in South Carolina, you're not supposed to have a firearm on you at church. And so, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, some of the places that seem to be the most vulnerable are those places you can't carry. And that's the reason why you're the most vulnerable. Yes.
Kevin Dietrich says, how about Virginia, tyrannical government to the extreme?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You know, it's funny. I've been watching some different videos about the ammo problems in California, and some of the, I mean, it's gotten crazy. And now we've had multiple shootings in California, like it stopped anything. And so, you know, it only hurts law-abiding citizens every time. Every time. That's all it does, is it affects law-abiding citizens. So, you know, and then, you know, I think there were some people blaming the NRA again for what happened in California. If it were the NRA, they would have, we would have been a lot more prepared. And so, you know, now do we need to ask a question?
Yes, we do.
Because we have some things to give away.
Yes.
Okay, I've got some interesting questions tonight, and I think one that's just let's do this one. We're gonna do something a little different. Lone Ranger. Let's just do this one. Okay. We're gonna give away get this out here. This is pretty cool, actually. And this is the Desert Tech. It's a thermos, stainless steel, very nice, never been used. Still in the box, 40 ounces. Very cool powder coat finish and rubberized top. It still has the instructions in there for you. But this is Really nice. I mean, a very nice thermos if I can hold on to it. And so that's what we're going to give away, and we're going to throw in a Krebs custom camouflage hat. And so, with that being said, let's go to our question. What is the name of the Lone Ranger's horse? What is the name of the Lone Ranger's horse? Now, remember, we've got to wait a minute. We've got to ask the question. So if your question pops up, it doesn't necessarily mean that you won, because some people, there's a ping that happens and it's a delay with some internet providers, and we want to make sure that we give away the prize. So what we're going to do is, before we ask it, you can refresh and it'll show the true. I think ours actually comes up the right way though.
Yes, ours does.
But we're still going to do it that way because we just want to make sure it's all good. And listen, if you ever feel like that you have won something and you've been overlooked, that you legitimately won, please contact me because we will give you a consolation prize that you'll like. So, because again, we have had a couple of people to drop off, at least from what we can tell. Lone Ranger. Okay, now these are not prize questions. I'm just going to ask a few more things about that. So, what was Lone Ranger's horse? What is the name? And again, this is not a prize question. This is just a question if you guys want to answer it. What was the name of Tonto's horse? What was the name of Tonto's horse? Now you can once that pops up, you can say it. Or
am I going to say what the winner is?
Yeah, because this isn't a prize related.
Wait, are you talking about which one are you talking about?
Tonto's horse.
Oh.
Lone Ranger's horse is the one that we're looking for the prize. I should have put Tonto's horse first. That would have been a harder one.
That would have definitely been a harder one.
Okay, so anybody know what Tonto's horse is?
Yeah, James Spire says Scout.
Ah, there we go, James. Congratulations for your congratulations.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
But you want to go ahead and do the winner then? Or do we want to wait?
Let's hold on, because I want to ask another question. What is the name of the song that was the theme song for the Lone Ranger?
None of these are prize related.
Yeah, none of these are prize related. We're just doing something fun. We've got more prizes, but this is just for fun. What is the name of the music, the theme song? What is the song? And you know the song. And I can go through the whole thing like I did with her earlier, but I'm not going to torture you too much. Ba-da-bum.
Yeah.
And if you can come up with that, Anyway, there you go. So, did somebody say it?
Nancy says the William Tell Overture.
Ah, Nancy. That's right. That is correct. Congratulations for winning the question.
For answering the question.
For answering the question. Yeah, I just thought that'd be kind of fun. We were just talking about it, and I just thought, that's a good one. Hio's. Have we got that? We answered that one yet?
Yes. Are you ready for it?
Yeah. Who is the winner? The winner of the Desert Tech tumbler?
It's Nancy.
Nancy. Okay, good.
Silver.
Hio Silver. Hio Silver.
Yeah. Rick Gorn says that Nancy is clearly a Ranger fan.
Well, it's funny. I was asking Sarah Mack about it. I said, so have you watched a lot? Because I do remember now that she said it, but my mom and dad had a lot of the old Lone Ranger, and they would play those for the kids when they were small. A lot of
Westerns.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Well, a lot of John Wayne Westerns. A lot of John
yes.
Wayne. John Wayne was my hero. So definitely a lot of great content that you're not seeing unless you look for it now. But okay, so light, #1 security tool. I understand why some people don't carry them, but I know you guys, and just outstanding. A lot of people, came in with saying, hey, we carry lights. And so, but just remember, guys, that it is a tool that you can use for self-defense if you have the right light. And so just one of those things that, I think is, because to me, I remember seeing this in one of the, I think it was Active Protection Network or Active Self-Defense. It was John Carrilla. He was showing a girl she was Russian. She was in her office. It was like a finance office. And it was a little small cubicle, and this guy comes in, and man, he beats her. I mean, he was trying to kill her. And she grabbed a pen off the desk and took that pin and stuck him, started sticking him. He finally ended up leaving, but he really beat her up. But, you know, and it was funny because she didn't grab that pin at first. She didn't think about it. And all of a sudden it just hit her. And so it's really important when you're out and about, guys, to be aware, have that situational awareness, know what's going on around you. Don't get on your phone in a public area unless you're in a safe area. You know, there are some public, but not in the parking lot, not while you're walking out of wherever you're walking. And you better not be walking out of Walmart. We have not been to Walmart since they started their junk with the ammunition. Yes.
Also, Nancy says that she does not want the bottle. So she wants it to go to the winner who said Tonto's horse's name. So
wow. Well,
so
thank you, Nancy.
James
That was
Spires.
All right, James.
You get the bottle.
So you did win. Okay. Well, thank you, Nancy. And James, send us over your address, and we'll get this right out to you. And I know Chase Kelly told me today, he goes, "What are y'all doing? How y'all shipping things with lightning speed or something?"
It's called me.
It's called Sarah Mac. Now, there are times where we've had a day that, you know, things we were waiting on addresses and we probably didn't go to the post office at once. But anyway, so let's move on. Let me see what, those are my questions. Did you write them down? Okay.
I wrote them down.
Now, one thing though that we are, I'll tell you this, coming up December the 9th and 10th, and I'm going down to Glock. Have no idea what they're offering, what they're doing. It's usually when they have me come down, which I've been down a couple of times. But this time they're releasing something, and they don't tell me anything about it. I had to sign a bunch of stuff anyway, so even if I knew, I couldn't tell you. But I'm really interested to see what they're coming up with. I think this may not be released until after first of the year, even. I know that was the way it was with the G43X and G48. And if many of you might have remembered that, at least that video on Full 30. And Glock they got kind of upset with me. And it really wasn't my fault. I was scheduling the video not to be released until the 1st. And according to their scheduling, you had to specify that if it was a future date. So I said January 1st, but it was 2018. So that night I went ahead and posted it, and then we went to a New Year's Eve party, and a buddy of mine got in touch with me and was like, "Dude, do you know that your video's up?" And so it was a real nightmare. I mean, I took it down, but it wasn't before somebody had already, of course, a number of people had already copied it, and it was out there. And Glock really got kind of upset with me. So I was really glad that they asked me to come down this time. And guys, I'll tell you, you know, when you go to Glock, you know, the reason I'm going is just to see what it is, because they'll give me the pistol, they'll loan it to me. And if I want to buy it, you know, I can buy it. So, you know, it's not like I have some kind of inside. I do have an inside deal because I get to go and see it early, but it's not like, you know, they're giving me the gun or they're paying me anything or whatever, you know. So yes.
We'll take any pictures.
Yeah. They'll want you to take pictures, but you can't release them. Okay.
Smoking Joe asks, "Can you take guests?"
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Actually, I said this on. In fact, I just remembered I said something about this on Facebook and our Facebook Live, and I said, "Robbie, you know, why don't you go with it? Robbie's gonna go with me if I can talk him into it." And so when I asked down at Glock, they said no. They wouldn't they said they were full. They wouldn't let me bring anybody. So I know Rodney from NC Hill. He actually said, "Hey, when are we going to Smyrna?" But you know, I can't even take Sarah Mac with me. So, you know, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But I'll be all by myself.
Michael Ambus asked, "Glock PCR?"
Yeah, I don't think so. You know, it's funny. I really think, and of course I can say this because I have no idea. What I really think they're going to do is maybe something to compete with the SIG, the P365. They did do that with the G43X. I think that was their kind of move to do it. But now that Springfield Armory has come out with their Hellcat, you know, there are going to be others that are going to come out. In fact, Smith & Wesson is introducing something on the 4th and 5th of December. And they had actually asked me to come up there, but it's in Massachusetts. And sorry, guys, if anybody lives in Massachusetts, but, you know, I can't, you know, you can't carry, and then you got to go all the way up there. traveling and all that. And I'm like, nah, I'm just not into that. But that's not really the reason why I'm not going. I'm just really super busy. But and then too, going to Glock the next weekend. But I would like to, because Smith & Wesson, their new stuff they've come out with lately has been just top notch. I mean, it's been that way for a long time, but I'm really impressed with their new guns. Yeah.
Pray CMX5 asks, are the Glock knives any good? I was surprised to see they make knives.
Yes, they're excellent knives. They're just solid. They're sturdy. It was one of the things they made before they started making pistols. They made Glock knives and entrenching tools. I did do the entrenching tool video. What's funny is I realized that after I did the entrenching tool video, and I've had Glock knives for, I don't know, 20, 25 years. I've never done a review on one, or I couldn't find it. So I'm going to do a review on a Glock knife. We're going to do some testing with it and see how it holds up. But yes, they're excellent. They're only about $30, and they're just good, solid knives. They've got the polymer sheath, and they have good retention, and you pop it out. So you can get it with the serrations on the back or without. So definitely a great knife, especially to throw in your pack.
They also look nice, like the blade, that one that you gave Seth.
Yeah, I'll have one for you over there.
Okay, good.
But they're excellent knives. I think they're great to put in a go bag or whatever to have, or just whatever you're doing. They're definitely good and sturdy. Is it time again for a question?
Yes.
Good night. Okay.
Good night.
Good night alive.
Not yet.
All right. Now, what were the three countries, the main countries, the three that were the Axis powers in World War II? What were the three big ones, the three main countries in the Axis powers during World War II? Okay. Oh, yeah. Let me just hand me that. Okay. This is something that this is pretty cool.
This is what you win if you answer correctly.
Yeah, this is what you win. So some of them are like, oh, I don't want to win that. This is the Mantis knives, and I'm going to show it first. Look at this thing. Looks like a steampunk. I mean, it is cool. It's got this gear system, and then you have this little lever right here. And so when you hit the lever, let me see. There it is. It pops out. I mean, this is beautiful. Very unusual. Very nice. Now, if for some unknown reason you can't own this, please let me know when you send your address, because it's got a liner lock. Okay, there we go. Liner lock. Yeah, it just pops out like this. Nice, very good quality knife, and aluminum construction. It's got this gear set up. If you like knives, even if you don't, this is everybody likes a knife, but this is just a really cool knife. Comes in this really nice box, Mantis knives. So if you can decide who are the three top countries of the Axis powers during World War II. The three Allied powers, of course, were the U.S., England, and Russia. So who were the opposing Axis powers? And that's in World War II. So we're going to give another couple of minutes.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we don't want to hurt about. Okay, now this is something that's pretty cool. And I don't think I've done anything on this. I did see a couple that really, this is not supposed to be released until December, but this is part of the Get Zone holiday gift guide. And this is a Rock Island Armory, and I got to look at the name of it because it's got a long name. It's the VRPA 40. VRPA 40. It's a pump shotgun. Has a mag well, M16, 5-round mags, but it also has the 9-round and the 19-round that go in the VR 80. And so this is, I mean, we've had more fun with this thing. And now the one thing is, it's very smooth action. Heat shield, has a ghost ring sight in the back, fiber optic in the front, and it just feeds like a top. It is so easy to disassemble. You pop a pin out, this whole piece comes out. The bolt, everything just comes right out when you take off the tube. This is one of the most simple pump shotguns I've ever disassembled. I mean, it's just that nice. And I really like it. We have a lot of fun with it. Now, it was funny because when Sarah Mac was shooting it, because it is kind of long and the stock is long, she couldn't get her little short arms all the way out.
I had to point it down and like move it off my shoulder just to reach.
Yeah, and then it was like, and so if so maybe if you're small stature, this may be a little long for you.
Don't worry, you'll get to see it next.
I don't know that I wouldn't go put that up there, but it does have a Picatinny rail. This is aluminum. This whole receiver.
Maybe a Patreon only.
Yeah, man, we might do something like that. That would be funny. But that's one thing I tell anybody. We have had people, at different times to come and shoot with us. And, one of the things that was I always tell them is if you come, you don't have to worry, about me making you look bad, because that's one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to make people look bad. Now, there's certain times where it's funny and they don't care and it's, but, I never have wanted to do that. And because some people get really nervous. Now, and that's one thing too, and we've talked about this a number of times, but it would be great for us. I would love to do a Patreon shoot sometime. If we could give you guys enough notice. I know some of you guys live all over the place, and even in other countries. So, I know that could be difficult to do, but I think that would be a lot of fun. And, we've been wanting to do it, and I've got a great place to do it at the Clinton House. I mean, it is a great location. And we could probably even get some help. I don't know if many of you know, but I may have mentioned this before, but I guess this weekend was kind of crazy. But we, Fiocchi, we were really concerned about Fiocchi because they were changing a lot of things that they were doing. They were giving away $1 million in ammo every year, just giving it out. And they had a new sales manager that came in and started evaluating. And I was getting low. In fact, I am low. They're supposed to be sending some 9mm now, but we were really concerned that we weren't going to have any ammo sponsors. I know some of you guys kind of piped in at one point, but I ended up talking to them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're on the list." So I'm good with that. They were looking for just the top 10, producers and people they really wanted to support. So we were pretty excited because that is obviously our highest expense, and so we were really glad in Fiocchi. I'm telling you guys, that Fiocchi ammo is just incredible. And it is made right here in the U.S. I believe it's out in Oklahoma or somewhere out in the Midwest. And they have a huge facility there. And even though they're partnered some with their Italian group, they are really making strides to distance themselves into a more American company. And this is what the guy was telling me. And there's a lot of cool new ammos that are coming out. So for those of you who I kind of mentioned, I know at one point that we were kind of nervous a little bit. Looks like we're good to go. Many of you know I started out with HPR, and HPR was an excellent ammo out of Payson, Arizona, and love those guys. I mean, they're just awesome guys. They started sponsoring my ammo early on, and then they ended up going out of business, not because they didn't have good sales, but because the partners had a huge disagreement and they split. And then I think it's Ammo Incorporated owns them now. And so then Freedom Munitions, wanted to help. And I think they did the same thing that Fiocchi was doing. They were giving out just way too much ammunition, and then realized that, they had to call it back in. And so then, Freedom Munitions kind of went away. And so I was like, man, I hope I'm not cursing these companies. So I was really glad that Fiocchi kind of got back to us. But you have some questions.
Are you ready for the winner?
Yeah, I'm ready for the winner. I'm ready for the winner of the Mantis knife, the steampunk knife.
B. David M.N.
David M.N. Congratulations,
Germany,
brother.
Italy, and Japan.
Germany, Italy, and Japan. So that was a question. Sarah Mac kind of, at first, she was kind of, and then she ended up getting it.
I had it 2/3 of the way. Right. With confidence.
Yeah, and then Italy just kind of hit, and so she got it.
Well,
but
who never mind.
Well, I think one thing too is I like to kind of ask some questions like that because it helps us to freshen up on our history, because guys, history is so important. So yeah, David, I know we've got your address, I'm sure, but Sarah Mac may want you to send it anyway. It just makes it easier if we know it. Okay, do we have some questions? Because I've been blah 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 blah. But yeah, we had Jerry Michulik was there this weekend. Collion Noir, Eric and Chad from Iraq Veteran 88, Tim from Military Arms, Mike from Mr. Guns and Gear, and just a lot of cool things. One, and for any ladies, no, Nancy, you're watching, so, but Ava Fennell, she has a huge Instagram following, and she started a YouTube channel, and the girl's just really smart and knows actually quite a bit about firearms. And she has a podcast that I'm going to help with, and so, or just going to be on at some point. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a heads up when it happens if you guys want to tune in. But she was there this weekend, and she had asked me last year at NRA if I would do a podcast, and I told her yeah, and then I just been busy, and so I saw her there, and I said I promise I hadn't forgotten. So anyway, that's going to be coming out. Yeah.
Charles asked, do you have a place not named Clinton you could go to?
Well, what's really funny is the place is actually Clinton House Plantation. So it's 1,500 acres. They have a mile range. They have a 1,000-yard range, and then they have 1, 2, and 300 with steel setup. Even the 1,000-yard and the mile has steel setup. It's a really great range. And when we first went there, there was still a lot to be done, and they're slowly, but they're getting things right. So yeah, I really enjoy. It's a 40-minute drive for me, so it's not just a skip, but it's a beautiful place. In fact, Three Gun Nation was hosting a lot of stuff down there. So yeah, it's just, but yeah, Clinton House. I know. Whenever I put that on Instagram, people always are like, Clinton.
It's not that Clinton House.
Yeah, it's not that Clinton. There's the town Clinton, South Carolina is down there.
Clinton.
Which I used to live in Clinton when I was a kid, just for a little while. All right.
Enigma asks, do you ask the World War II question because you were a Man in High Castle fan?
No.
It's a TV show.
Okay, thank you. No, but I have always been a huge World War II fan. I loved World War II and love to study it. And so it's just, it's one of those things. In fact, with the kids, that was one of the things I really helped when they were homeschooling was we did World War II. We went through the World War II, and that was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting. For me, I've always been a big history buff, and I think it's really important to understand history, understand geography, understand a lot of the different things. If you go into ancient history, I mean, like where the ancient civilizations came out of and how that has transformed. I mean, the whole Middle East, a lot of times we look at the Middle East as just this huge Arabic Muslim group, but there are a lot of subcultures in there. The Persians and the Medes and the Babylonians, they were all Sumerian. And I mean, there's a lot of different racial groups in that area. It's the reason why people are still fighting, the Kurds and, the Hittites, the Turks. I mean, all those groups are different. And, if you're not careful, you just kind of put them all together when, and I'm sure many of you guys that have been over there know. But and then you have the different Sunni and the Shiites and some of those groups. But a lot of that has to do with their culture from way back. So I really find history very interesting. It helps you to understand the world a lot better. Oh, one thing that I did do this weekend, though, that was a big highlight was I ran into my friend Chris Weatherman, the Angry American that wrote the Going Home series. He and Alan Kay, which was the winner of the first Survivor. He was the winner of the first one. He's a big guy. Good night, he's big. But kind of quiet, but definitely, man's man. But we got to hang out for a while. In fact, on Friday night, we got to hang out a good bit. But super guy, super nice guy. They're working on hopefully a movie for Going Home. And really, they probably would already have something going, but they're always trying to, they're trying to shortcut the story itself. And so anyway, that was always great. If you, again, and I know I've promoted this a number of times, but if you've not read the Going Home series, I highly recommend it. Because that is really something else. Yes.
The Bug Killer asked, when you do the podcast, would you post info on Patreon?
Yes, I'll give an announcement ahead of time. I'll do whatever. and I told her, I said, I'm going to be like this next weekend, we're going to Chattanooga for my wife's family. And then the next weekend, we're going to the beach with my family, which we've just started doing that for Thanksgiving. But my family, my parents live just right over from us. And but we're going to go down. So I'm actually going to be gone like a Thursday and a Thursday. I've already been gone this past Thursday. We've got an afternoon, but my weeks have been a little bit short. So I told Ava, I said, I can't do anything until at least, maybe December. So I will definitely post that because I'd love for you guys to come over and watch it. And I think it'd just be interesting. So, and then I'll tell you this, guys, when I go down on the 9th of December, that is a Monday night. And so I'm going to miss Patreon Live on that Monday. And then Tuesday during the day, I'm going to be there at Glock as well. So I'm going to miss Facebook and Patreon. So I'm kind of like bummed because I really love it. But anyway.
How do you spell her name? That's what Nancy wants to know.
It's just like it is flannel. It's FLANNELL, I believe it is. I'll post it. I'll post it on here when we finish. I'll put her channel and everything on here. Great girl. What I love about her is she's Jewish conservative. So she was laughing about it. But she used to work for it was the Yankees, the New York Yankees. She used to do a lot of their marketing stuff. So she's, very well spoken and, just a good person. So I really enjoyed not that I hung out with her the whole time. I just got some time, of course, Shannon was there, so I couldn't hang out with her too long. But anyway, I probably like her dad more than anything. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I had two of them on me.
Wait a second. Where did it go?
Yeah.
Kevin Thomas asked, do you think the Republic can be saved, or are we doomed to repeat history with a civil war?
Well, it's funny, but I really feel like that this is the thing about our society. Where is the mass headed? I mean, where are our morals headed? The things that made America great. I mean, the real things, the moral character, the spunk. I mean, just the can-do attitude, the hunger for the American dream. That, hey, I have the ability to do it, and I know that if I just get in there and do it and I work hard, I can do it. We're losing that core value system. We're losing faith. We're losing, and guys, you may not have faith. You may be, whatever. I don't really go for that. That's fine. But it's those traditions that we're losing. Whether you're Christian or not, we live in a Christian society. Doesn't mean that everybody's good, because everybody obviously is, and even people in church are just as bad as anybody else half the time. But we live in an umbrella of certain moral traditions and codes, and those codes and things are under attack. Capitalism. Who would have ever thought that that we would have to defend capitalism like we're having to defend it today on a massive scale? There's always been the socialists out there that were, academia. So I don't know. And, what scares me is just like in Virginia, what do you do there? You've got the House, the Senate, you got the governor. I mean, they're going to have their way unless there's some really conservative Democrats in there, some blue dog Democrats that might back off. But, what do you do? And so what is the answer? What is the answer? So, and I think that, if war's going to come, let it come in my time. I mean, that I can help preserve my, and spare my family, that's a scary thing to say. And here on social media, it's definitely something that, you have to be careful of. But I think Mike at Guns and Gear, I think he really just kind of laid it out. And I really respect him for what he said about Virginia. And guys, that is the cradle. That's one of the cradles of the Republic. I mean, men like Jefferson and Washington, and then all the areas that were the original areas. So I don't know. I'm not optimistic. No, I'm not. So I just say that, we need to stand for freedom. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Definitely. Stand for the Constitution, stand for the Republic, stand for the Second Amendment. All those things are sacred. We have to stand for them. And if we lose them, we lose everything. It's not just our form of government. It's our way of life. It's our futures, our kids, our grandkids. Like Reagan said, America's the last great hope. It's the last place. Once America goes, it's all over. So yeah, we've got to stand. We're going to have to stand.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Kevin Dietrich mentions gun sanctuaries are being declared in many areas.
Yeah. In fact, it's funny. Derek Williams told me today, he said, that the county that down in Florida that just passed all those laws where they're now gun sanctuary is where Chris Weatherman wrote the Going Home series and where he's from. I thought that was kind of an interesting twist. I know that South Carolina is fairly conservative, but guys, we're having a lot of people move into the area, and that's not bad if they're conservative, if their mindset's right. But we're having a lot of people seems to be moving to the areas that are bluing. They're making everything purple instead of the red or the blue. And so lines are being blurred. I mean, it's kind of scary. But you look and you see, the rural areas all across America are red. And there's a lot of people out there that believe in the way we believe. And, there's certain values and things that are being forced upon us or taken away from us and others forced on us that I just can't live with. Can't live with it. And goes against everything I believe in. What do I do there? I mean, what do? You do a giveaway.
Supposed to brighten the mood for a little while anyway.
Well, here's the thing. We're going to do a giveaway, but I'm going to say this. Yeah, all happy and sweet and everybody has fun. And we do. We want to have fun. But you guys are on here for a good reason. You're on here because you believe in the Second Amendment. You believe in freedom. You believe in self-reliance. You believe in rugged individualism. That is what, in fact, I used to say that a lot. I had to say independent thinking. Independent thinking. That's going away. You've got to think a certain way. Thought police are there. So you're here for that. And we have leaders, people all across the internet that are leading. And so, we've got to follow. And Donald Trump, while he's not perfect, man, he's by far the best thing I've seen out there. I mean, he's done some things, but and he has a hard way that he does it. But I think, on the other hand, I was talking to a buddy of mine. We need somebody to lead. We need somebody to really lead. And because I love Ted Cruz, but I think if Ted Cruz had gotten in office, I don't think he would have been able to lead. Wouldn't have had the brass to do what we've seen. Now, some of you might disagree with me, and that's fine. But that's the one thing I think I have to admire about Trump is that no matter what, he's just going to say what he's going to say.
Yep.
And he might say it one way and then speak out another way. Okay, what we're going to do now is we've got an Axion. This is a 4x12x40 scope. This is a nice little scope. In fact, this is a
saving the best for last.
So they do the prism mounts that go on the scope. I did these a couple years ago, but this is a nice scope, and I will limited lifetime warranty on it. And I'm going to see if there's something else I want to say. This is 4x12x40, and I believe it has inch rings. I'm trying to see because I wanted you to kind of know when you've got the scope. Because if you're like me, you're already trying to, because there's no rings in here. I think whenever whoever wins this, I'll let you know. We'll put it in there. Okay, so the scope. And guys, too, with all the stuff we give away, we always throw in some stickers and patches and things like that. Maybe even a signed, suit. The only problem is we've had is she's having a hard time being able to ship it and pack it right.
Yeah. I just, I don't want to fold it. That's the only other way it's going to ship.
Okay, another question. This question. Okay, and some of you guys may know this one. Some of you guys, this might be a toughie. What European country what European country colonized Vietnam before we went into Vietnam? What European country? What was Vietnam a colony of? What country? Before Vietnam, before the Vietnam War.
And while we're waiting.
And while we're waiting, we have some questions.
Some comments and questions.
Okay.
You were saying that you were going to be gone on the 9th, and the bug killer said, so can we chat with Sarah?
I'm sure many of you would rather, and I understand that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be very helpful on the whole.
She'd just be sitting there going, yeah, okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about horses. Now, you want to talk about horses.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say is Sarah Mack has just found her a new place, a new barn for her horses that's closer, and it's better, has an arena with lights. It's just a really nice place for half the price that she was paying before. And guys,
not all official yet, but
yeah, well, anyway, and so she's been doing some barrel racing training. And so this will give her the option now to be able to go and get her a barrel racing horse and be able to board it for much less than she's even paying now. Yes. So she's pretty excited about it. I'm excited for her. And anyway, that's a good one. Okay.
J. Derek Williams says, Don,
hey,
one
Derek.
of these trips you take to the beach, maybe I can buy you some coffee and chat about history. No Starbucks though. LOL.
Yeah, no Starbucks. Yes, in fact, I was thinking about you because I will be at Myrtle Beach, not this weekend, but the next. So let me see. We're going to be down for Thanksgiving, so I don't know if you're going to be in town, but if so, we will definitely have to hook up. In fact, Derek is the one that told me about the sanctuary city there for where Chris Weatherman wrote the book Going Home. So thank you, Derek. And yeah, I'll you got my Facebook because I know we've just talked.
Jammer Jim asks, Stags Arms just announced a move to my home area, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Oh.
Do you think that more will move out of anti-gun states?
Yeah, I think if they're having sense, especially now that the Supreme Court has, ruled against Remington that they can be sued, which I can't even talk about that. That's just not right. That is injustice, and that goes against the law of the land. So I don't know, but anyway, yes. Number one, Jim, I'm jealous because Cheyenne, Wyoming would have to be one of the most beautiful places on the earth, and I don't blame Stag for moving in that direction. I don't know why Smith & Wesson hasn't already moved, but yeah, that's great to hear. And you have more freedom. And you also have firearms manufacturers in the free states, and we need that. But some of these state restrictions, I know we're going to get kind of rough. So one of the things I love about Palmetto State Armory, guys, and is that one of the things that Jamin McCullum, who owns Palmetto State, was that he wanted to have a company that produced every part for the AR-15, including barrels, bolt carriers, forged receivers. They do it all. The only thing they don't make are the springs, because there are companies that make springs for, really well. And so they said that's the only, maybe some nut bolts and things, just a couple of, well, not bolts. There's no bolts on AR, but anyway, so that's one of the great things that, having all that capability makes it difficult to stop them. And one thing, Jamin, in fact, if you've never seen, if you go to Palmetto State Armory's YouTube channel and watch the interview with Jamin, where he talks about not only his service to the U.S. military and served over in Iraq, but one of the things he says is I want to make so many AR-15s that no matter what kind of laws they pass or bans they come up with, they won't even be viable because we've sold so many AR-15s to the public. He said, I don't care if I make a penny. He goes, I don't care if I make money. He goes, I just want to make America free. That to me endeared me to the Palmetto State Armory, and they're also here in South Carolina. But I just thought that was awesome.
Kevin Thomas asked,
hey, Kevin.
Does Angry American have any new books coming out? I've read them all.
Yeah. It's funny. I'd read 1 through 5, and then he came out with 7, 8, 9, 10. And so I went back and reread 1 through 5. I'm almost finished with 7. And I'm going to finish 8. I think 11's coming out. And I talked to him again this weekend, And Chris said that some people are going, so when are you gonna end? I mean, when are you gonna wrap this up? He was like, why? He goes, it's an ongoing story. There's so much information that we can still do. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And he does some other things. I know on Survival Dispatch, the Survival Dispatch Insider, which, a lot of times when I send you guys links on those videos and a discount, he does special things. He's even done some segments about Sarge and some of the others that are just for the Survival Dispatch Insider group. So it might be something to check out. But yeah, he's not finished. And there's a lot of other great books out there. I've had some people recommend. In fact, I know Rick had recommended something really cool, and I need to look that up and get them. But it's really mind bending when you start to read some of this stuff and start thinking about the possibilities, and it gives you knowledge. And guys, the big thing is the most important thing about survival in any way is mindset. Mindset's number one. It's funny. The kids were watching last night. We were coming back. They were watching my son and then my buddy John's son. They were watching Indiana Jones, and we couldn't watch it. We were just hearing it. And one of the things that the French archaeologist said to Indiana Jones, I can't remember his name, but he said, "Your persistence astounds me. When I think you're dead, you pop up again." So, and that's one of the things about mindset is just the sheer persistence of getting it done. You're just persistent. And I think that's one thing that knowledge and reading and studying and getting that mindset.
Now you want to see who the winner is?
Let's see who the winner is of the Axion 4x12x40 scope.
The answer is France.
France.
The winner is SNC.
SNC, congratulations. All right. So give us your address, make sure you send it, and we will get this boxed up and shipped and other stuff as well. So congratulations. Very good. Yeah, France. France was that Vietnam was a colony in France for a long time, and finally the VC and the North Vietnamese just decimated. There were some pretty serious massacres going on, and then the U.S. came in, and there you go. But that was good, very good. So how are we running on time? Just so I know.
10.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Okay. Man, you guys, I'm telling you, I love Monday nights with my Patreon members. You guys are the best, and I really appreciate you guys coming out, and supporting us. Because, here's the thing, guys, and I just want to reiterate because it's that important. What you do keeps us on YouTube. What you do keeps us on YouTube. And we've got to stay on YouTube to reach the masses. That's what we've got to do. It's not about what YouTube is paying us or not. It's all about staying on YouTube. And whenever I get those, demonetization notices, which is every time I upload a video, sometimes they will monetize it or they'll limit it, But when we get those, I can always just go, because it's very frustrating. I mean, you spend 20 hours on a video and it gets demonetized immediately, and it's like your heart just sinks. And in anything, AR, AK, anything like that, but even regular stuff. And so when I just appreciate all you do, and that's what keeps us going. So we've got to keep it, because here's the thing, guys, and we've talked. I want to just bring this up because, guys, I'm not here just to say y'all support us because we just have this YouTube channel. No, I'm saying support us so we can continue to keep the content on YouTube where people are coming and where people are getting interested in firearms, just like Robin. Robin, if you're here tonight, Robin's from England. We talked about it. He went to the Northeast, no big deal. Went to Atlanta, moved to Atlanta, and went, oh, guns. And then now he is a diehard Second Amendment fan. He is a supporter, and he's even on Patreon helping us to spread the message. So anyway, we just really do appreciate it. Listen, guys, I know we talked about the Olights. We will be giving away, if not all of them, we'll give away most of them. But we got a box full right here. And all these are new flashlights. I've already shown a lot of you guys these lights, but we'll make the announcement tomorrow. I'm going to start showing these lights And Lance is over there looking at me like, is it time yet? Can I come over? I don't know. Can we let me see if I can show it? Let me see if I can show Lance. I'm going to try to tell me.
Now you gotta go down. There he is.
Is that
there
him?
he is.
Look at that sweet boy.
And you can see Zane in the corner. He looks
Hey,
like
buddy.
he looks like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, he's a big buddy. Oops, I think I messed things up. Hope I didn't mess him up too bad.
Oh no, it actually almost got it perfectly.
We're
No, you're good.
I know these guys are going, what the heck? All right, hang on, buddy. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Rick. Appreciate it. You know what I'm talking about, and I just had to say thanks. But anyway, guys, we really do appreciate it. If you will, we're going to be on Facebook Live tomorrow at 2 for those who don't work during the day. But we will be on there, and we've got a lot of things. You know, we have fun, but this is my favorite. This is my favorite. Plus, I got Sarah Mack here with me. She's the entertainment crowd over here. But Robbie Wheaton will be with us tomorrow. And so anyway, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Congratulations to all the winners, guys. Next week, we'll have a bunch more stuff to give away. So be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.